Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at 10 potential move updates for the next season of the Go Battle League. We have to say before this video starts as well that the next season very likely going to not have that many changes because they usually want to keep the meta the same for the World Championships, but still we can take a look at 10 potential updates for the future. So if you enjoy this type of videos, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. But before we start, let's hear about today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, because I was looking into height adjustable tables recently because I'm moving in a few weeks. I kind of wanted to upgrade myself because I'm basically sitting at my desk for 90% of the day, and so I kind of want to have something that helps my health as well, and I wanted to have a height adjustable table because you can just stand up with that, you can do your work there, and it's going to be way better also for audio for YouTube videos. So I was looking into this, and then I got a message from FlexiSpot if I want to showcase their height adjustable table. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna look at the brand really quick before at the Amazon reviews, and they were all so positive. There were thousands of reviews on Amazon. They have their own web store there as well, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna take a look at their table, and so I actually now got a code for you as well with Flexi EC5 Pro. You're gonna get 5% off for your purchase. There are going to be links in the description towards it as well, so definitely check that one out. But yeah, so I was able to choose between several different designs. They were so kind and just let me choose from whatever was available, and so a few weeks later I got two packages actually. They were quite heavy as well, which kind of shows also the quality of the product, and that's like kind of something I want to talk about as well. And honestly, the quality of the product was just amazing. Like, there was so much like thought through in terms of the building process. The building process, by the way, was super fast as well. Like, I think it's only like 10 steps, and also for all the screws, they're already kind of pre-sorted, which was like so easy to build. Like, don't need any tools. Like, all the tools that you really need are in there as well. You can use tools though if you want to like put some extra things on there. I didn't do everything towards it yet for my table because my table is still lurking downstairs, because again, I'm moving in 3 weeks, doesn't really make too much sense to put it up yet. But like, sooner or later you're going to see me definitely doing my videos while standing up, because it's going to be way better in terms of the quality. So definitely stay tuned for this, can't wait for that. And honestly, when you have this thing, you don't really want to go back from it. Like, I'm so excited when I can finally use it for videos as well, because it just goes so smoothly and so quietly as well, from like the lowest height to like the highest height. Of course, you kind of want to have something in between for like the moving, but also you have presets that you can get for yourself. So you can have something where you have like for like normal setting for when you're sitting down, but then you can just press one button and it goes automatically up to the point where you want to be for just standing up and doing your work. So I'm excited to use this one. I can't wait to do it. I hope you also, maybe if you are looking into one, definitely check that one out. Link is going to be in the description again for the code Flexi EC5 Pro. You're gonna get 5% off. Thanks so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video, and we can move right into the video now. Okay, let's go into the first move update. We're going to have Metal Sound here. Metal Sound was a new move added last season, and it was a pretty bad one. Everybody kinda didn't like this one, and we're actually gonna give it quite a decent buff here by giving it +1 damage and +1 energy to get to 4 damage, 9 energy and 3 turns. So it's basically the same as Mudshot, but 1 more damage than Mudshot. Why is it the case? Because Metal Sound, like in general, steel type moves are offensively pretty bad, so we can kinda give them a little bit of a boost compared to something like a Mudshot. And we're gonna see as well on the example for it that it's going to change it. It's going to be a little bit better, but it's not going to be like meta breaking at all. We're going to have Wormadam here. Wormadam is going to now get the move, which is already at pre-4 anyway, but it's going to be buffed here, and as you can see, it's going to be able to give it 7 more wins, but in the end of the day, it's just still at a 508 average rating, and if we see on the right side, it's not going to break the meta itself either. Same goes for Bronzong, but like a lot of Pokemon could learn this move, so it might be cool for the future when more Pokemon get access to this move, but a buff is needed for this move to have any chance at all of being a decent one. Moving on to the next one, we're going to have Leafage next. Leafage is a okay move, currently at 6 damage, 7 energy and 2 turns, so we're going to add 1 more damage to get up to 7 damage. This is going to basically make it a clone of Poison Jab, and Poison Jab is a decent fast move, not the best. Like, Poison Jab is basically the same as Counter, but -1 damage, so Counter would be 8 damage here, but still a very solid one. You could even argue of going up for 1 energy over 1 damage, which would make this move even stronger. And then you would have a Shadow Claw clone. But here we're going to have a Poison Jab clone, which I feel like does make a lot of sense as well. The current meta really likes grass-type Pokemon, and so this might help out some of them. Some of them are also on the screen here right now. We're going to take a look at Decidueye. This Pokemon is going to run here Brave Bird, which you can also change for Spirit Shackle. But as you can see here, currently a 468 average rating, and with the extra damage of Leafage, you go up to 491, which is still not meta breaking, but going to help you out in quite a lot of matchups. And the cool thing about this one as well now is you're going to have more matchups where you can farm down opponents, and with this they're going to be able to get more energy for it later on. So while it maybe doesn't show it in neutral matchups where everybody starts at 0 energy, I feel like it's going to have even more of an impact during normal games where you're going to have some different kind of energy levels, some Pokemon being already at like 25 HP or whatever, like 25% HP, and you can just farm them all the way down. So definitely something I want to see in the future, that Leafage gets a little bit more love, because I feel like grass types kind of suck right now, not gonna lie. Some Wine Abusers are okay, but like there are quite a lot of grass types that could be cool if they just had a better move. And yeah, Leafage would be a cool move to add or like to buff for the future. Moving on, Shadow Punch. Here, I only went up by 10 damage, and I could even argue for going up by 15 damage, which would put it then the same as Cross Chop. Currently, it is a 40 damage, 35 energy move. Now it would be a 50 damage, a 35 energy move. Why is like Shadow Punch one of the moves that I really would like to get buffed? And only a few Pokemon can learn it. You see basically all the Pokemon on the screen right now. The pre-evolution of Golurk also would be able to learn it, but that's basically it. So it's a move that's easily been buffable without having to fear like a crazy shift itself. But here, even the Dusclops, which I looked at as well, still does not even really one Shadow Punch, even if it's buffed like this, because you have Poltergeist and like it's a bulky Pokemon, like it's kind of more balanced. But for something like a Haunter, it's going to be great, which you're going to see now on the next slide. But again, I hope that more Pokemon get Shadow Punch. I think a lot of Pokemon can learn this move, and so if this would be a decent move, it would have a way more play. And honestly, I would love to see Haunter back in the meta, because this Pokemon is insanely squishy, but insanely funny as well to play. And so here we're going to see the current Shadow Haunter being better than the normal Haunter on average, by the way. So we're going to have an average of 461, and this is going to increase by giving Shadow Punch like 10 more damage to 505 average rating and plus 5 wins, which is going to be kind of great. And again, kind of similar to what the Decidueye was as well. For this Pokemon, if you can farm down something, you're just gonna get a ton of energy. You're going to be able to beat quite a lot of Pokemon. The cool thing about this Pokemon in general is already at the current point, you can completely farm down Annihilate in the one-shot scenario without throwing any energy. And so this thing is just a lot of fun. I hope that it's gonna be a little bit better. I feel like Shadow Punch deserves some love. Also put onto more Pokemon would be kind of cool. But yeah, that's going to be it for this change. Next one is maybe a little bit of a controversial one. Here we're going to see the current Poison Fang is 45 damage and 40 energy, but here we're going to give -5 energy, so it's going to go back basically towards what it was before. I think it was still 45 damage, I'm not sure, maybe they buffed the damage a little bit, but basically going to back to 35 energy will allow Salazzle to function way better, because now you can store some extra energy, which helps out quite a bit in like longer matchups. It's going to help out especially the Nidoqueen, and that's what we're going to take a look now as well, because I feel like the most people are interested in the Nidoqueen anyway. -1 Death Drop, of course, it still stays the same, and as you're going to see here, Nidoqueen, I feel like this thing as well is going to be a theme throughout the video a little bit more as well. I feel like there are quite a lot of nerfs from recent, like basically move updates or whatever, that you can revert again, because like the meta just shifted towards where those Pokemon that were broken back in the day and the nerfs were like definitely, yeah, decent, kinda are a little bit worse nowadays, because other Pokemon are a little bit better. For example, Nidoqueen, nowadays you have so many Whiscash as well as Skarmory, so like this Pokemon is definitely better checked compared to back in the day. And now we're gonna see as well that this Pokemon would go up back above 503 in terms of the average rating, and I feel like it's still kind of balanced. I think it's a balanced Pokemon. Also, for example, matchups like the Annihilate is going to be worse for the Nidoqueen compared to the Medicham matchup, because Medicham you still do neutral damage, Ghost is resisting poison type damage, and so you're going to have a worse matchup in general. Pokemon like Feraligatr are around, Pokemon like the Whiscash of course are around, so I feel like this would be a cool kind of buff again. Don't think it would be too broken, and I am hoping that we maybe see the Nidoqueen again. Of course, there are also some people who would never really want to see this Pokemon again, which I also kind of understand, but I still think it would be a kind of balanced buff. Moving on to the next one, this is one where I hope that more Pokemon get the move as well. Sucker Punch is a move that learned by like a ton of Pokemon in the main series games. And for example, Pokemon like Shiftry would definitely benefit from this a lot. There are quite a lot of other Pokemon that would learn this move as well. So like currently next to nobody is learning this, but this is just something that Niantic can change immediately. So here we're gonna take a look at the best example for this Pokemon, or for this move update here. We're gonna get +2 damage, again getting to the same values of Poison Jab with this move. We're gonna take a look at the Yveltal, a Pokemon that kind of completely disappeared from the Open Master League because just too many fairy type Pokemon. Of course, this will not help against those, but it's going to make it a little bit more consistent. 13 wins, 24 losses is kind of poor in terms of the performance for sure. But as you're gonna see here, you're gonna get nearly, or like, even more than 50 average rating here, and 6 more matchups because of the change here to the buffed Sucker Punch, which it already learns anyway, like the normal Sucker Punch. And you see as well, it is completely balanced. Just gonna beat now the Lostheart form, the Dialga Origin form, as well as the Gyarados. That's basically it. But it is just going to be more consistent. It is going to do more fast move pressure, which is going to be great for this Pokemon as well, because if, again, you're going to have a lower HP Pokemon, you can just farm them down and get a ton of energy for the next matchup. So this does make a lot of sense here, and I think it's going to be a great Pokemon to have, and I think it's just a great move update itself. Next one, I can see that people maybe are a little bit, on a different opinion towards this one, but I kind of want to have Rollout buffed again. Like, it was buffed before to, I think, 14 energy and 5 damage. Currently it is 13 energy and 5 damage as well then, but yeah, it got like kind of nerfed when like Miltank, as well as I think the Dunsparce got the move. 3-turn fast move there anyway, which is going to be a little bit more clunky, and we kind of make it now a Water Shuriken clone by giving it 1 more damage and 1 more energy. And I think it's balanced, and I think I kind of want to see more longer duration turn moves that get a little bit more love. Dunsparce had a period where it was really decent. It was like not broken ever at all, like it was just like a kind of more of a niche pick as like an anti-meta pick, but I kind of want to see this Pokemon back. I think Miltank has a lot of potential with the coverage that it has currently with Ice Beam as well as Thunderbolt, and then you're going to only have the Alolan Golem, which has to move as a legacy move from a community day, and so there's a lot of potential to buff this move and give to more rock-type Pokemon especially. There are so many rock-type Pokemon that currently just don't really have any play, and so if Rollout gets buffed, this would help them out quite a bit, and so I would really like to see this. But yeah, Rollout definitely kind of would enjoy a buff. Let's take a look on how strong this would make a Dunsparce, for example. Dunsparce currently average rating of 456, which is solid, but like not really good. Like nobody is really using it nowadays, especially in the meta with Annihilate, which also kind of makes me believe that this would be a balanced move update. And as you can see here, we're gonna get up like 40 average rating, 4 more matchups they can win. But if we can take a look on the right side here against the top tier meta, you're only gonna win now clearer against the Lickitung, which is, I guess, is a good thing for us, because like that's a matchup that you kind of want to have, but the rest is kind of the same. And so I think this would be a great matchup, or like a great buff in general. And again, a lot of other rock-type Pokemon would be able to learn this move, and I think this would be kind of good to have a good rock-type fast move that is fast also in generating energy, because if you take a look at what we currently have, it is Smackdown, which is kind of slow, and you have Rock Throw, which is kind of slow, and I think those are the only rock-type fast move. I might actually missed one other than Rollout, of course. But yeah, basically we need better rock-type fast moves, and I think Rollout has a lot of potential to just be a very good 3-turn move. Moving on to the next one. This is basically just unnerving Earthquake. Like at the point, I kinda, like when this nerf happened, I kinda did understand, because like top tier meta Pokemon were Swampert, were like Galarian Stunfisk. But I don't really see the point in the current meta. Like, I just don't really see the point why we have the Earthquake like we have the Earthquake. Of course, it's like not a change where I'm like screaming at, yeah, we have to get back the Galarian Stunfisk. I just don't really see the point of the nerf anymore in the current meta, looking at what we currently have available. And so I kind of think that Earthquake getting a buff again would be kind of cool, especially for like something like Swampert to be a little bit more common again, to have something like Meganium even being more common, because Meganium is actually really good in the current meta, just would need a little bit better coverage. And as you can see here, the current average rating of Galarian Stunfisk is 476. With the Earthquake buff, you go back up a little bit above 509, which is super balanced, which is totally fine. Nobody would need to complain about this to be extremely broken or anything like this. And so I think this would be a kind of cool move update as well. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about it in general. Let me know in the comment section what move updates would you like to see here. Always feel free to leave it down below. Next one, Psywave. I decided to give it a different buff than what I expected. Like, what I wanted to do first is just give it +2 energy and keep the damage the same. Currently it is 3 damage and 2 energy, which is one of the worst possible moves that is currently in the game. Of course, new move in general, not a lot of Pokemon can learn it, so we can kind of experiment with it. And honestly, I kinda like the idea of making it a Dragon Breath clone, which would be the case if you get a +1 damage and +1 energy. And also Melmetal is kinda a friend of this idea, because as you're gonna see here, Psycho Cut is going to make it an average of 408, not too great in general. But with that basically being the Psywave Dragon Breath clone, we're going to see that this gives it +6 wins while not making it broken, but leaves you room to basically give this to other Pokemon that would most likely have more impact on the meta. The current Pokemon that learn Psywave are just all garbage. That's like the biggest issue towards it as well. Of course, the move currently is garbage, but if you kind of buff it to the point where I buffed it here right now, I think it has a lot of potential on certain Pokemon. And so Melmetal here definitely gets a good increase with that. But again, like, I also would like to see, honestly, I think I would rather like to see the 4 energy and 3 damage, which would be a 1-turn Shadow Claw, which is quite overpowered, not gonna lie. But with the Pokemon that currently have it, it wouldn't be broken at all. And so, yeah, maybe you're gonna see a buff towards this. I would like to see a big buff, so either +2 energy or +1 damage and +1 energy, both of which I'm fine with. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next one, I think this is the second to last one as well for today. We're going to have Double Iron Bash on the Melmetal. We can make this short, +10 damage. Gonna make it a Body Slam clone currently. But it is a signature move. It is a Steel type move. Steel type again is not a great offensive typing, and you have to give up on great coverage in order to have this move on it. But 50 damage currently is a joke on this. Like, nobody is using Double Iron Bash, which is kind of sad. So let's take a look at this one. We're going to see here the current best moveset of Melmetal with Superpower on Rock Side, and we're just going to get rid of the Rock Side, making us very weak to a Ho-Oh, but we can take this. As you're going to see here, average grows by like nearly 70, which gonna give you more play against certain Pokemon like Mewtwo, against the Xerneas, against the Zacian. You're going to be able to beat them all now, which is a good thing for it, and I think it was kind of great to have this kind of move on it, and I think it would be a very wise to buff it. But yeah, Melmetal completely gone from the meta. It's basically the cheapest legendary slash mythical Pokemon that you can build for the Master League, so I feel like it should be a good Pokemon, and this would not make it broken, but would make it very strong, and would give it some play again, which is something that definitely needs. So hopefully they're gonna buff this by quite a bit. But let's move on to the final update. Exactly, to the final update here today. I was not sure. We're going to have here the Extrasensory, and we're gonna give it +2 energy here. This is going to make it a worse variant of Volt Switch. So Volt Switch would be, as a 3-turn move, you would compare it to 9 damage at 12 energy and then like 3 turns. Of course, like, it's a 4-turn move, so it's 16 energy and 12 damage. So it's a worse variant of Volt Switch, so it should be kind of balanced. There's one Pokemon that scares me a little bit, and that's what we're going to take a look here at for the final thing for today's video, and it's going to be Lugia. Lugia with Dragon Tail is already still kind of decent, but of course after the Sky Attack nerf, this Pokemon kind of got a little bit of a, yeah, not as common. Like, it's just kind of not common anymore. Like, it's just too slow for it. So giving it a stab fast move that is going to make it way faster maybe kind of goes over it. I'm not too sure. Like, again, yeah, 26 wins is already a little bit too much. Like, maybe just give it like +1 energy and +1 damage. That maybe also work out a little bit better. But yeah, I think it's still kind of something I would like to see. I would like to see a Psychic type buff for sure. We only have Cresselia, and Cresselia like has Psycho Cut. Like, for, of course, like Great League, of course, our Master League, we have Mewtwo, but like Mewtwo is only good because of its signature move, and like nobody else learns this. So like Psychic really needs some love, Poison needs some love. Like, quite a lot of types are currently kind of lacking. Steel needs some love as well. Like, there's currently next to no Steel type that's viable. But yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Do you want to see another part for it? Then let me know in the comment section. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, and check out the info box, of course, for all the sponsored stuff. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.